Today I want to share with you all. I used rotation force in chord. It's rotational force. Its function is very simple. It only has one rotational speed here. Then it was gone. Then there is a force here. Then this corresponds to different forces. This is area dynamic when. This type is simulated using paper. Then this is the ordinary force. That's basically it. And then there's the speed of rotation. Then there's a problem here. He will expand it continuously based on time. Right. It will keep getting better and better like this, getting bigger and bigger, continuously magnified. This is often not what we need. Then another thing is its rotation angle. It is now heading towards to this. Turn like this. Right. What if I need to go in the opposite direction? Then I need. For example, I need to get from this way. On the contrary, how do I set it up? Here. The corresponding speed. Most people might think that, can it be changed to -100? However, this cannot be set to a negative value. Because this requirement just happened to be encountered during the production process. That means I need to adjust the rotation angle. So his method was actually quite strange. That is, it is the adjustment of our scaling value. For example, here I'm turning like this. If it's to be reversed, it's where you set this value. For example, change it to -1. Okay, let's take a look. He's heading this way now. So I'll make two sets to compare. I'm playing a group here. Group A. I've set this to Group B. Pull these two sets out separately. Then the corresponding value changes. One is positive and the other is negative. Right. The angle of his rotation is different now. Right. This is the first question. That is to say, we adjust. Its scaling value is used to set its rotation. Clockwise or counterclockwise. So what is it? Go this way. It's clockwise. This is 1. This is counterclockwise. It moves counterclockwise like this. This is -1. Right. It's very simple. It's a very simple rotational force. This can give rise to something like a research topic. Basic transmitter. Set as a ring. On. Then. Adjust 90 degrees. It goes upwards. Okay. I need a rotational force. Its default rotation is incorrect. Its default rotation is towards. Turn like this. What we need is based on the y-axis. Rotate according to the y-axis like this. Rotate this axis. Orient its z-axis upwards. 90 degrees. Okay, he's right now. Select example group. Add here. Trace. Okay. It's rotating normally now, but it now has a problem. Let's increase the rotational force first. The more you spin, the better. The more it spreads out, the better. How can this be avoided? Right. Its shape is like a funnel. This shape doesn't look good. Of course, you can use a very clumsy method. How can we avoid this kind of expansion? There is a very simple method. I'm using one here. A cylinder. Then add collision tags. Collision label. After, you need to add this collide in the particle group. Here, collide. Then the collision is inside, because it's inside. No settings are needed here. It will recognize this by default. Then play the timeline. He'll be confined to this situation at that point. He won't disperse. This is a method, right? It is relatively limited by available means. A controllable method. Right, he's a good person who keeps things under control. However, you need to pay attention to the project settings. In the example, there's this part about not being convinced. If you are the example, fly out or something, then you need to set this parameter as much as possible. And this cylinder, its subdivision should be relatively uniform. Don't just say that. That makes it easy to fly out. Right, because it doesn't have segments here. It cannot achieve precise collisions. And then there's the project setup. Increase this stride slightly. Okay. That's one method too. It is possible. It's better to control it. Rotation within a certain range. Of course, this is also a very clumsy method. Then set the particle property speed. Turn on random. This allows it to have both fast and slow speeds. It can certainly achieve this kind of feeling. This one doesn't use particles. Okay, then add polyphs and cloning matrices and stuff like that. It won't fall apart here, right? This won't fall apart. It is vertical. And I can change my quantity. For example, I want more or less. All of this can be controlled. Right, I want less. Then I need to move faster and for a longer period of time. Hurry up. From now on, these random ones of mine. Random between each point. Should I rotate this more? Right. Isn't this much easier to control than particles? Yeah. Okay. This is it. Today I want to share with you all. That is to say, make some, well, not very high requirements. However, we need some more precise control. So we can use this method. I'll demonstrate it again here. How to create this effect. Okay, let's disable the particle panel. We don't need particles. We create a disk. The number of segments can be adjusted according to your needs. This is good. First, you need to break it apart using polyphs. The purpose of scattering is to let me. I need to take each of these sides. There are some random variations. Polyphis is a good choice. Add a random effects processor. Only the y-axis needs to be affected. S and Z orientation. Then the smallest. We should not copy. It should be the z-axis here. Because we changed its axis here. Changed to the y-axis longitudinal direction. So it will also have an impact here. Let's make some changes. This is not a big problem. So the total time. For example, I am at 200 frames per second. Then we see that it changes over time, and it has some. It's a change in speed. We can say it this way. Then we add the time to the domain. We have a total of 200 frames here. We set it to 200 here. Okay, let's play the timeline and take a look. Okay, it will now proceed gradually based on time. Make some changes. We can change these. These are all parameters that can be changed. We could even change it to turbulence here. So we can change this speed to 0, right? Then this size. The forms it takes afterward will all be different. Modify according to your needs. It can also be set to random. I've set it up to be a bit more random here. Okay, next we need to take this disk. Let's get moving as a whole. It is now fixed in place. Then these scattered surfaces move there. That's not what we need. Okay, we need a time effect. Time effects. Then specify it under poly effects. Then affect the object. Let's not talk about rotation yet. We want to influence the y-axis. Okay, that's the overall speed of movement. Then we choose. The disk creates a matrix object. Matrix. The matrix doctor is an object. The object is this disk. Then we use the surface. The quantity can be set. Then select matrix. Add tracer. It now has a change in speed. The matrix now has a bit of a particle feel to it. Then we need to add rotational force. So rotational force is quite simple. We can do this directly in terms of time. Time effects. Rotation. Okay. We have achieved it now. In random motion. Then there are changes in the numbers. There is a change in rotation. Okay, we have these two core elements. So, next, we need to color the points. Okay, let's select the matrix object. Add effects, Simple effects. Cancel position pre-color. Add a step here. We use this disobedience. Turn on color. Then use a color gradient. Then read the colors inside. Or it depends on your needs. Here. You can choose this one. Change it. This is how you get a random color. Then we need to make this spline. What about inheriting the color of this point? What should we do? Then we need to use a scan to scan this spline. Let's add another one inside. Set it to 1. First, make it physical. Okay, I'll play now. There's one more parameter that needs to be changed. It has some problems now. You'll see it moving around here and there. That's because in Swift, there is a place called banking. We shouldn't let it spin there. Then we cancelled. It won't turn now. If we open this banking, it will keep twisting and turning there. It's twisting. Do not open. Otherwise, problems will occur during rendering. We should not select this option. Okay, now we've materialized it. Next, we need to color it. The matrix object is already colored. Then we can use the split object here. Explore settlements separate objects. Then directly add the if statement from the effect here. Assign it a simple effects unit. This is called color. Okay, they now have the same color attributes. So, this method is only suitable for a relatively small number of items. If you have a lot of items, you will definitely get stuck, because this is where you are. Is it a physical entity? These are entities. So your parameters shouldn't be too impressive. For example, this can be changed to. Fourthly, this tracer uses linear. By default, besides rotating after rising from the y-axis. We can even scale. Okay, good. Let's take a look. For example, We initially made the dough a little bigger. It might start at 300. Then after time, change its scaling. For example, it is negative 0.1. It will keep shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. Right, it will keep shrinking. Then open. Burden of proof. Play again. Let's reduce the quantity first. Don't have so many first. Okay. My method is very controllable. Even make it shrink faster. Slow down. Both are acceptable. Negative 0.2. It will retract faster. But it will eventually come back. So this. You need to weigh this value yourself. It's just that the random locations are different. This can be controlled. Okay, we've now controlled its quantity. It's random motion, then his rotation. Moreover, there are color variations. These. It's very difficult to control particles directly. This is extremely difficult. You can try it yourself if you don't believe me. We can use cloning. Because we don't need matrices. You can use cloning. We use one. But if I demonstrate it to you, some problems will occur. What is being cloned is the matrix. It will affect the future. Because we scaled this disk, it will affect the size of the cloned objects. Now let's look. You change to 10. It will continuously magnify over time, enlarge or reduce. It will affect our cloning. Of course, you can do so if you need it. If you don't want to be. If this scaling value has an effect, this needs to be explained. For example, let's increase it a little bit more first. This is also a kind of effect. It can be considered a form of control. Right, if that's what you don't want it to be like this. It's based on time. The feeling of changing particle size. Then you can directly choose the disk. Then add the connection object. Then the matrix. It's better to change the object to this connection object. At this time, because the connection object doesn't have a scaling value here. These PSR settings remain unchanged. Therefore, it will have a fixed value. It won't change here. It depends on your needs here. Okay. Good. My method is highly controllable. Then you can even influence each of its strands. The thickness of the lines. I won't go into details here. Cloning inherits the color of the line segment. Later on, these line segments will have some randomness. This is available on my membership website. Get it from Patreon. You can go and study how I did it specifically. A rotational force. It can be derived into many things. Some things that don't require particles to achieve. I hope to everyone. It would be helpful if you were learning chord. Okay, because this is indeed better than particle controllability, and it's much more convenient. Of course, that means the premise is that the number of your particles is not very large. Of course, it has a limitation. That means it cannot be continuously produced. If you need to generate it continuously, then this method isn't really suitable for you. As I always say, people can be flexible, right? Okay, that's all for today. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.